Hi peoples, thanks for tuning in to Nana's shipping container build. I named my channel this because I'm a Nana and I think if I can build my dream home, you can too. It's my hope to share my journey with you and give you some information on how to build on the cheap. A few years ago I had a house with a heavy mortgage and lost my job. I couldn't make the repayments, so I had to sell my house. It was at the same time that I became a carer for my partner. The bank wouldn't give me a loan for a cheaper house, as they don't recognise a carer's pension as being stable. I had just enough money from the sale of my house to buy a block of land. So I looked for the cheapest land I could find and found a block near the river, which is what I wanted. It had been up for sale for a while because it wasn't ideal. It was full of scrub and on a hill, so I managed to get it for a good price. As you can see, the scrub was so thick that you couldn't even see the back fence. Wildlife and rabbits had made it their home. I wanted to leave a lot of the trees and scrub and build my home to fit in with them. One of the first things I did was remove the old back fence and put up a white picket fence. I guess this represented the beginning of my dream to be mortgage free. I found pallets that were being given away on the side of the road and used these to make my fence by simply cutting the tops to shape. I should mention here that we have a massive gum on our block and it cannot be removed due to its girth. So remember that if you see a block with a heritage tree, you need to take this into account because it cannot be removed. I had two good friends help me, as the pallets were too heavy for me to lift on my own. Nick, pictured here, has since passed away. You will see him in a lot of the pictures as we go through the build, and at times I might have given up without his support. He is sadly missed. And Aaron, pictured here, helped with the painting. The paint I got for free as my son is a painter, and they had some leftover paint that we mixed together. Some of the wildlife liked the idea of a fence they could go through, but this little fellow got stuck, and we had to undo one of the posts to set him free. He knows how to navigate now, and still resides on our block. And the fence looked pretty good when it was finished. I started to look around for items I could use for the build on Marketplace. I got the internal doors cheaply from a house that was being demolished. Then I found a lot of pavers and retaining logs for free. I used the pavers to work out where I would put the driveway. The council took a year to approve the build with lots of to and throwing. Many councils are different. My original plan was to build my containers on Besser blocks, but my council required structurally engineered piers, and although the council had accepted my initial draft, the engineer wanted them drawn up by a draftsman. This was a cost I had not been prepared for. The plan was basically the same, but the pictures did look a lot better. You can see from this overhead shot the amount of scrub I needed to remove. I would also need to survey the land for elevations. Here I did manage to save, as I researched on YouTube and learned how to use a theodolite. Then hired one from Kennard's and surveyed my land, thus reducing the cost of a surveyor. Then I tackled the side fence, so I could get a better idea of where the boundaries were. The original fence here was a short rusted one like the back fence, so we removed it and replaced it with this one. I got the sheets and posts from a salvage yard, which cut the costs, and hired a cement mixer from, you guessed it, Kennard's. I also cleared more of the land by hiring a wood chipper from them as well. I should add that my friend's son John Roy was out of work and needed some cash, so he helped me with the wood chipping. My son helped me with the fence. Time to excavate. They had to remove so much soil. In my mind, I hadn't realised just how much till it happened, and then realised how much soil I had to retain. I looked for a cheap option and liked the look of gabions, so I researched on YouTube and found out how to make my own gabions. Nick and Aaron helped me with this. We bought the cage wire from the salvage place and made our own, and every time we drove to the block we would collect rocks on the way to put in the gabions. But they worked, and we could now work out where the containers were to be placed. Because my soil is basically sand, I knew the trucks bringing the containers wouldn't be able to deliver on the soil, so I needed a hardstand base, a base that was also wide enough for them. So I needed a double driveway, which was a good thing to have anyway. So like and subscribe to stay with me on my journey. Stay tuned for the next time when the containers are delivered. That was really exciting.